So today, there's not going to be a huge lesson. We're just going to work on confidence and building and reinforcing our skills from previous weeks. So there's going to be a lot of exercises and just doing speeches today. Some review of what we've learned in previous weeks. So the first is to just remember the components of a good speech again. So remember to have confidence, make eye contact, speak loudly, speak clearly, and make sure you're not speaking too quickly. Also remember to have structure in your speeches. So the first thing is to have an introduction with a roadmap. So start off with the hook that draws the audience in. Remember to have a roadmap that outlines everything you're going to say in your speech. So first, I will talk about this. Secondly, I will talk about this. Then you want to introduce your points. So my first point, or just talk and say what your point is, and then expand your answers. So talk about what your favorite thing is. Tell us a story about whatever you're talking about. Tell us why. Give us some examples. That will help to make your answers more unique and more interesting. And then at the end of your speech, remember to have a conclusion that wraps everything up and ends in a question or a general statement. You guys have been doing really well at using all the components of a speech so far, so good job. About last week with storytelling. So his speech had a beginning, so like an exposition. The man comes home from work, where you introduce the conflict where he's talking with his son. And then in the middle, his son is asking to borrow money. And then we didn't get to watch towards the end, but there is an ending to the story. And then the conflict that the story is just the man doesn't make a lot of money and his son wants to borrow money. And they're kind of fighting about that. I think the best thing, though, the boy did in this speech is that he made it sound really interesting. He used a lot of hand gestures. He gave different voices to the characters. Like the man was the really deep voice. The kid was the really annoying high-pitched voice. And he made it so that it actually sounded like the characters in his story were interacting. So I guess you don't need to be as extra as this boy in his speech, but if you're telling a story, you always want to vary your voice to make it interesting to the audience. And if you sound enthusiastic, then the audience will believe that you are passionate about your speech and they will be more enthusiastic about what you're saying too. Okay, so now let's present our homework speeches. So the prompt last week was, what is something that made you happy this week and why? Yeah, so let's hear your speeches about one thing that made you happy this week. Who wants to start?
Many interesting thoughts and events make me feel happy in my week. Having a good grade, going shopping or receiving presents, and so on. However, this week I have just received a new dog from my aunt. It's a great reward for my excellent study result at school this year. I like dogs and I love to take care of them every day. Dogs are not merely animals; they are also our friend. My new dog is Rocky. Rocky is a good friend of mine. He is very big with brown feathers. He has curly hair with beautiful black eyes. He is very cute. Each day I often feed him, play with him, and take him for a walk in the park. The thing I like to do with him is play because it relaxes me and relieves my stress. Rocky is not only a dog, he is a good and loyal friend too. To sum up, having a new dog, an exciting time in my life. It makes me feel happy. How about you? Share yours with me. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks for listening.
Wow, great speech.
Things that can make people happier and enjoy life more is a good dose of gratitude and giving back. For me, one thing that made me happy this week was taking some alone time. It recharges my spirit and I can find a little peace. Being alone does wonders of my mood and outlook. As well, it helped me find the meaning of true happiness. I often get up early in the morning at about 4 a.m. to watch the sunrise. This is one way I relax. The weather is so fresh and cool. The sky is blue and there are white clouds tinted pink by the sunlight. There are birds flying in the sky and singing. It's such a beautiful and peaceful time. In my heart, I feel so relieved and comfortable. As I am enjoying the sunset, I wish time would pass slowly so I could experience this beauty for a long time. This is an interesting thing that made me happy this week.
Wow, that's actually really interesting. I'm into the exercises. There's no lesson for this week since I've been giving you a lot of information in previous weeks. So this week instead, we're going to focus on practicing our skills in a few exercises. So the first thing we're going to work on is improvisation. And the way this exercise is going to work is I'm going to assign you a random word. So the word can be something like pencil, it can be like desk, or it can be soap. And you just want to talk for as long as possible about the word. So if your word is like desk, for example, you just want to talk for as long as possible about a desk. So you can say like there are desks in school, and then you can start talking about school and like what you do in class while you're working on your desk or something like that. It doesn't have to be like a serious speech, and like it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try to talk for as long as possible about the word and be enthusiastic about it. Here I'm just trying to build your improvisation skills and being able to talk on the fly without necessarily writing out what you're going to say. All right.
Back to the day I was in primary school. Remind me about my friends there. I miss them and remember the moment we were playing together and sharing things with each other. And sometimes I play hide and seek with them. I usually win the game because I did treat. And I think all of that things it was beautiful moment I will never forget about the time we stay together in primary school.
Yeah, that sounds you that then. So next, I guess we can work on tone and presentation. So I showed you that storytelling video from earlier where like the little boy was like using a really like, he told his story in a really interesting way. So now we can try to do that too with our own stories. So hold on, I will paste this link in the chat. So go to this link, choose one of the stories under the link. And then you just want to read a little bit from the story, but in like a really engaging and enthusiastic way. So use cool voices for the characters, be really exclamatory when it's an exciting part of the speech, use eye contact and be confident. I don't think we have time to do 7 minutes to prepare, but I'll give you like I guess 4 minutes to prepare. You guys can find a story, choose like a part of the story that you think is exciting, and then basically plan out how you're going to read it in a fun way. Are there any questions about that? It makes sense? Okay, if it makes sense, then yeah, just go to the link, pick a story, pick like part of the story. Don't read the whole thing. I don't think we have time for that. But yeah, just present it. Does anyone want to go first?
Me.
Okay.
I would tell you a story about the golden touch. There was once a king named Midas who did a good deed for Saturn, and he was then granted a wish by Dionysus, the god of wine. For his wish, Midas asked that whatever he touched would turn to gold. Despite Dionysus' effort to prevent it, Midas pleaded that it was a fantastic wish, so it was bestowed. Excited about his newly earned power, Midas started touching all kinds of things, turning each item into pure gold. But soon, Midas became hungry. As he picked up the piece of food, he found he couldn't eat it. It had turned to gold in his hand. Hungry, Midas groaned, "I starve. Perhaps this was not such an exciting wish after all." Seeing his dismay, Midas' beloved daughter threw her arm around him to comfort him and she too turned to go. The golden touch is no blessing, my dad cried.
Great, awesome story. I really love it.
I want to go next.
Okay.
I want to tell you about story number 20. A wolf had gotten seriously lost during a fight with a bear. He was able to move and so could not set the free. He stirred or hunger. One day a sheep passed by his hiding place and saw the wolf. He decided to call out to him, "Please, feed me some water," said the wolf. "That might give me some strength to get some solid food." "Solid food," the sheep said. "I suppose that means me. If I brought you something to drink, it would merely be to wash me down. Don't speak to me about feeding a drink."
Yeah, great job. This is a really cool story to pick. Love this story. Love the way that you read it. Good job. Class, so I'll just give you your homework for next week. So do a 2-minute speech on if you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be? So your superpower could be like time travel, it could be flying, it could be, I don't know, the ability to like summon any object. You can choose whatever, just like if you could have any superpower, what would it be? Remember, we are going to present next.